All right, people, welcome back to the Gunners podcast. Today, I'm going to be revealing the mastermind behind the pitch of who I believe will take the Reggae Boys to their second World Cup appearance. Coach Heimir Hallgrimsson.
They got Gunners podcast.
The Gunners Podcast.
If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow us on 876 Gunners on Instagram and TikTok. Buy us a coffee if you're feeling so generous. All these links are in the bio below. And make sure you hit that big red subscribe button. I think almost 75% of you guys that watch our videos are not subscribed. But here are 5 things that you guys need to know about our head coach. All right, let's start off basic. Who is this guy? All right, he's an Icelandic, um, you know, football coach, part-time dentist who was born June 10th, 1967 in Vestmannaeyjar, Iceland. I don't know how to pronounce that properly, but if you do, leave a comment. He's a former defender turned into a football coach and part-time dentist. We'll talk about that more soon. Yeah, I think he's currently like 56 years old, and he has a whole lot of experience that we are going to get into. He began his coaching career in 1995. I was not even thought of, and most of you that are watching this weren't even thought of, but and he was an assistant coach to IBV Vestman Jar, where he's from, in Iceland. And yeah, he managed in various clubs in Iceland. In 2011, he was called up to be the assistant coach to the Iceland National Team under Lars Lagerbäck. There you go. So after Lagerbäck resigned in 2016, so he was there for 5 years, yes, while doing dentistry as well. He was named the head coach of the Icelandic national team. Big deal. And yeah, so he was there for, I want to say, 2 years. And he was really successful, and talk more about that. But he was there for 2 years. And then he went into consulting for FIFA and UEFA, and eventually took the job with the Reggae Boyz. Now, I really found this funny. From Dentistry to the Dugout, he was not a, prolific goal scorer. He wasn't like a out of the ordinary professional footballer, but he was passionate, and you see that now. Um, a lot of the things he did for his community, still does for his community. That's in his management style. Um, and in a video or interview with the Guardian that I read about, um, he would go to a pub and then try and keep up his clients while he is the manager of the Icelandic national team. And if you don't know, Iceland is not a very big country and has a very tiny population. Um, and yeah, so he would just go and relax at the pub. Seems like a very humble guy. And sometimes he'd go back into doing surgery. So I just found that really interesting. Um, yeah, so he'd chill near to his hometown at the stadium, get a drink, and that's what he did for like 7 years of his life, or probably even more. Um, Moving right along though, I wanted to talk about the Reggae Boyz revolution. I think there has been a significant change. I do remember Whitmore being coach, and I could not feel connected to that team, but I feel connected to this team because I feel like the coach has a dream and he has a vision of what he wants to see his players do. Um, he has implemented many structural changes. He's trying his best to communicate with the players. As Leon Bailey said in his interview, he's calling them weekly, almost every day, to ask him questions, to gain climate, And I think that's definitely what Jamaica needs in this moment right now. He's a bold decision maker, or at least was. And I'm not going to get into the whole Leon Bailey, if it was true, if it was not true, but he's said to be a bold decision maker. Um, and yeah, and he just has a community type approach to football. So I think that's more of like an Ancelotti style, something adaptable, something that's more about the team as a collective using their individual strengths than just trying to do full system play. Um, yeah, moving on. He has a record of success. This is undisputed. He was coaching the Icelandic national team for 2 years and brought them to the Euros and to the World Cup. They didn't need to win it, people. Right? They really and truly did not need to win it. Let me just get how much people live in Iceland. It's like Iceland population 382,000. That is not even Portmore, people, or Montego Bay. So yeah, the fact that he was able to rally up people to get to the World Cup is pretty insane. So he got them to the Euros in 2016 and 2018. So that was not only just one competition; he got them to consecutive major European and international competitions. Um, he apparently used to reveal his lineups at this pub before the games, which when I read that, I said that is crazy. And he just used to foster a very close knit relationship with his players. Um, he always talks about in his interviews before the whole thing of the collective us approach versus the I approach, which I found really integral to who he is. And everybody that talks about him talks about that being the thing that separated his journey. Um, he did manage Al Arabi before this whole takeover, but I found that really interesting. I had no idea. He managed players like Gylfi Sigurdsson. He was definitely good in an Icelandic shirt. The 40 million made sense is in an Icelandic shirt, I would say. And he had a centre back, Olafsson, who got 15 goals in 63 games, which was, I think, his second highest scorer, which is really crazy if you think about it. He has a record of success, and I think for that reason, it is not too big of a shout to say that he might just bring the boys to the World Cup. All right, now this is more of a personal thing, but I just want people to trust the process. I think it's important for us to trust the process. I think he knows what he's doing. I think seeing the Nations League, how we got there, he did the perfect plan for us to get to the finals. Unfortunately, we didn't get there because of some luck from the United States. But at the end of the day, it was down to luck. His plan worked. I don't think his plan was to get a goal in the first minute, but any coach would take a goal in the first minute, and he just capitalized that and moved on. Um, I think the way he's transparent, the way he handles his interviews, he seems very professional. Um, I think it resonates with the Jamaican crowd, and if he does bring us to the World Cup, I think that will have big and well, I don't think we'll win it, but I think we have a chance to gain experience and make it almost like a regular occurrence. And that will definitely pull a lot of players with, Jamaican heritage to the Reggae Boyz team, which is perfect for us. Um, yeah, I think he makes Reggae Boyz filled with promise. He's using youth, he's mixing it up. And he's just a pragmatic coach. And I think for that reason, we just need to believe in the process. And that's just the fifth and final thing I had to say. I hope you learned something about Mr. Hallgrimsson or Coach Hallgrimsson. And yeah, if you enjoyed that, if you want more videos like this, if you want even more in-depth facts that I can find off the internet about Hallgrimsson, please let us know. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Follow us on 876 Gunners on Instagram and TikTok. Buy us a coffee. And trust the process. We're here. We're trying to make videos for you guys, and we're trying to get to 2,500 subscribers. Until next time, peace out.
Big up Gunners podcast.
The Gunners Podcast.